If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. Hello, self-developers, and welcome to the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, where I will be reviewing Audible books on self-development that can change your life for the better this year and years to come. It is said that if we keep on doing what we always did, we will keep on getting what we always got. In other words, to change our output, we first have to change our input. Today is May 8th, 2022, and this is episode 19 of season 2. And today we'll be reviewing the Audible book, Be Proactive, Habit 1 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This Audible book will focus on the very first habit of highly effective people, according to the author Stephen Covey, in his highly regarded book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This Audible book will be based on the See, Do, Get model, which means the results we get in life depends on what we do. What we do in life depends on how we see the world around us, or our paradigm, which is the way we see, understand, and interpret the world. We are each a product of learning and experience, and no two individuals share the same knowledge base or the same set of experiences. No two people share identical paradigms. If you want to make quantum leap changes in your life, work on your paradigms, which is how you see what you see. We must first make our habits, and then our habits make us.
Lesson number 1.
We think we see the world as it is. In fact, we see the world as we are. What we see, our paradigms, determines what we do, our behaviors and actions, which in turn determines what we get. Unless we consciously stand apart from and examine our paradigms, we might never see that perhaps many of them are distorted, short-sighted, or just flat out wrong. A paradigm is a map you have in your mind. If your mental map is inaccurate and you don't question it, a positive mental attitude or a heroic effort won't matter much. Once you see things as they really are, you will think and act differently, and you will do it automatically, spontaneously. This is why paradigms are more powerful than attitudes and behaviors. If you want to make minor changes in your life, work on your behavior. But if you want to make significant quantum breakthrough changes in your life, work on your paradigms.
Lesson number 2.
Don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. In Aesop's fable, he tells the story of the farmer who had a goose who laid golden eggs. The farmer got greedy and wanted all the golden eggs that the goose had, and killed the goose and opened his stomach to find no golden eggs. The farmer had short-term thinking as opposed to long-term thinking. You have to take care of the goose. Highly effective people and organizations always strive to keep the proper balance between the goose and the golden egg. We have to draw the line between P, or production of desired results, and PC, production capability, to keep those desired results coming and getting better and better.
Lesson number 3.
Being reactive is the opposite of being proactive. We must take responsibility for our own life. We cannot see ourselves as a victim. We have to see ourselves as a victor who is always on a path to success. Your life is a result of your own decisions and not your conditions. If you do not practice habit 1 of highly effective people, you will never be able to practice the other 6 habits. Being proactive means that you are responsible or able to respond to any event that happens to you. Between what happens to you, which is the stimulus, and your response is a space. In that space lies your power and your freedom to choose your response. And in those choices lays your growth and your happiness.
Lesson number 4.
How do you know when a person is proactive or reactive? The language of a reactive person: I have to, I must, if only, I can't, I haven't time, I'm the low man on the totem pole, look what's above me. There is no have to in life. There is only choose to. You can choose what is easy to do, but it is better to choose what is right to do. If you were invited to a fishing trip, yet you had a class in college to go to so you can graduate and land a high-paying job, would you go on the fishing trip because it is easy to do? Or would you go to class in order to pass your college course so your future self will thank you for it?
Lesson number 5.
There is a circle of influence and a circle of concern. Proactive and positive energy will enable your circle of influence to grow larger and larger. Always look at every problem as an opportunity to exercise creative energy. Focus on the inner circle of influence rather than the outer circle of concern. Proactive people focus on the inner circle of influence, while reactive people focus on the outer circle of influence. When you focus reactively on the outer circle, your inner circle will shrink.
Lesson number 6.
In choosing our response to circumstances, we powerfully affect our circumstance. When we change one part of a chemical formula, we change the nature of the results. Proactive people are not pushy. They are smart. They are value-driven. They read reality and then they know what's needed. Anytime we think that the problem is out there with others or in circumstances, that very thought itself is the problem, because we empower what's out there to continue to control us. The change paradigm is outside in. In other words, what's out there has to change before we can change. The proactive approach is to change from the inside out and not the outside in. The proactive approach to a mistake is to acknowledge it instantly, correct and learn from it. It is your response that will determine the final outcome. Closing thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this audible book a super duper 5 for providing 6 powerful lessons on how to be and stay proactive. To find out more about this audible book, go to www.audible.com and download this audible book, or go to www.franklincovey.com to find out more information and other books written by the author. Remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform so you do not miss an episode. And also remember to please share this episode via text or email with friends and family and other people that you care about. Follow me on Twitter at Kelly Podcast or Instagram at Patrick Kelly Podcast. For more episodes of the Patrick Kelly Podcast for self-development, go to www.thepatrickkellypodcast.com. If you would like to donate $1 or more to the support of this podcast, click the donate button at www.thepatrickkellypodcast.com or go to $Patrick Kelly Podcast on Cash App, and I'll be sure to thank you on the next episode. This is the end of this podcast for today. Tune in next week Sunday for the next episode and the next audible book of over 300 books that I'll be reviewing on the Patrick Kelly Podcast for self-development. If you enjoyed this podcast, take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. This really helps me out. Feel free to share this podcast with someone you care about. And remember, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Take care.